Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast. This week I have not just one incredible guest, but three. And we are going to be hearing from a group of students and tutors all about their experience on the diplomas. Well, they've just started the diplomas, and these guys are going to be sharing Diploma Diaries. So I will explain a little bit more about what that is for anyone who doesn't know, but it is a great way to learn about the experience of being on a diploma, about jewelry making in general. And if you're interested in learning about jewelry making, tools, other jewelers, this is going to be perfect for you. So I think that everyone here probably knows that we run diploma programs here at Jewellers Academy. They are year-long programs, and there's 4 different types. So we have the diploma in silver jewelry, the diploma in fine jewelry, and the advanced jewelry diploma, and the diploma in silver metal clay. And lots of you guys listening have been students on those courses. Some of you are thinking about doing one in future. So what are the Diploma Diaries? Well, if you've ever followed us on Instagram, you will probably know what I'm talking about. But we get students every year, starting last year, so this is the second year, to share their experience on the diploma. And last year, the wonderful Kelly Twig shared her diploma diaries throughout the year. So every week she shared what she was making, how it was going for her, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. And it was really interesting to see that journey unfold. And Kelly will be resharing some of her diaries this year as well, with a little twist, so some new content around the diploma in silver. But this year we have 3 incredible new diploma diaries from Tori Foster, who is going to be sharing all about the diploma in silver metal clay, which is very exciting. We've never had anyone do a diploma diary on that before. The wonderful Emma René is going to be sharing about her experience as a student on the Fine Jewellery Diploma. And then we have something a little bit different as well, which is Jane Taylor, who is one of our tutors and mentors, is going to be sharing from a tutor's perspective the projects on the Fine Diploma. And all of this is shared over on our Instagram page. So it is really interesting, very educational. You really get to know the jewelers as well throughout the course of the year and follow on their journeys. And if you are doing any of these programs, it's going to be great for you to see somebody else's journey, because hopefully it will kind of spur you on. But also, if you're thinking about doing them in future, it's a great insight as to how they work. So we're going to hear from everyone today and learn a bit about their journeys, but also they're going to share a bit about what we can expect from their diploma diaries, and just have a good podcast. So let's start off with Tori. Welcome, Tori. Do come say hi and maybe just do a short intro for anyone who's not met you before.
Lovely. Hello. I'm Tori. I'm based up in Pocklington in Yorkshire. I have done 3 of the diplomas already, so I'm a serial diploma taker with Jewellers Academy. So the metal clay one, I actually started working with metal clay. That was my sort of first introduction into working with metal. I'd never really thought about it before then, but ended up working more with like sort of traditional silversmithing skills after that. I still dabbled, collected some tools and stuff like that, and then the last couple of years that you've run the diploma, I've been really jealous of people that have been on it because the projects just look so cool, especially like the last term. I was like, yeah, I really want to do this. And then I was like, I don't know if I'll use it in my business, like the skills, but I'm really looking forward this year to just having a bit of fun and experimenting.
Absolutely, yes. And I forgot that you've done all the diplomas, Tori. It's incredible. How could I forget? But yeah, so on to the 4th, which is brilliant. And you have your own jewelry business, don't you? And you teach jewelry making. Do you want to just share a little bit about what you do outside of doing diplomas?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So last year I opened a sort of shop studio space. So I sell my work from there. I do my work from there, and then I also teach there as well. So I have a few collections that I work in. Mainly I do some one-off pieces, and then do my workshops mainly on a weekend, and then I do some weekday ones as well. It's good fun.
Amazing. So maybe in future there'll be some silver metal clay classes.
I've got a couple of ideas already. Yeah.
Brilliant. And so tell us a bit about where you're at with the Diploma Diaries. We'll move on to others in a bit. How far are you into the course? Because it's still only September when we're recording this. And tell us your experience so far about creating Diploma Diaries.
So we've just started week 3. So it goes live on a Monday. We're recording this on a Monday. So we've only just got the content for it. I have had a little look. That's where I'm at. I've recorded my first video. The thing for me is every other diploma that I've done, I've been really behind. I've left everything to the last minute. And with this one, I've really got to keep up. I feel a bit of pressure there. It's going to be a completely different way of working for me because I'm very last minute. But yeah, I've done the first project. I finished that so I need to fire them still. For week 2, we're doing fingerprint jewellery. And I didn't want to put my fingerprints on it or I didn't want anyone's fingerprints on it. But we can do pet paw prints or nose prints. So I'm sending the moulding stuff off to my mum to get the pet prints and then coming back. So I'm going to go back to week 2.
Amazing. Oh, how exciting. Okay, so week 1 is done. Week 2, you're sort of in progress, and week 3 is dropped today. And you've made your first video, which is incredible. Yeah. And it's exciting sharing it. And have you had any feedback so far from your first video? People kind of responding, and it's all quite new, isn't it?
There's been lots of lovely comments. I was really nervous because I had to do a voiceover. I thought I'd get away with just doing a video. Kelly was like, no, do a voiceover. So that was a bit nerve-wracking, but everyone was really positive about it. Some questions on where to get tools and things from. So I've shared a few tools in there to start with. Yeah, it's been really good.
Amazing. Okay, great. Thanks, Tori. And Jane, should we come to you next? So Jane, you're going to be doing it from the tutor's perspective. So do you just want to tell anyone who's not listened to your podcast before, you have done some podcasts with us more about your journey, but just a little bit about yourself and your background and your experience in jewellery making?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the jewellery trade for a really long time, and I've had my own business since 2001. And I recently moved to a lovely little place in the Surrey Hills called the Coal Yard. So there's an art gallery up here, and it feels very, very creative. And then in March, I started tutoring at the Jewellers Academy Brighton. I'm really, really enjoying that, as well as this year being a mentor on the advanced diploma. So I'm looking forward to meeting all my students on Wednesday for the first Zoom call. And then in my studio, I offer jewellery experiences, but to people that have never made jewellery before. So sometimes people come for special occasions. I have couples come in and make wedding rings together, and I record it for them if they want and put a little video together. So it tells a story of their experience, and people can get quite emotional about things like that. So it's quite immersive. I really love it. And then I have a couple of students, work experience students of my own. And on top of that, I do a few customer bits and pieces, and eternally trying to find some time to make my own designs, which I'm sure is the same as every other jeweler.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar. Yeah, they'll just be in the brain forever and gradually.
Yeah. A couple have come out recently, and it's like, I feel like my life's changed.
You're like, yay, I finally got some creative expression. I love that. But yes, and Jane's work is just incredible. For anyone who hasn't seen her work, definitely go and check it out. So Jane, tell us a bit about your experience of doing the Diploma Diary. So we've just started. What week are we in? The first video's come out, hasn't it? Tell us a bit about your journey on that so far.
Well, I think that was like a massive kind of boom into the Diploma Diaries, because I found it really exciting because I'd never ever done reticulation or Kembu before, so I was really looking forward to it. It was processes that I knew nothing about. I thought it's really interesting to see the tutorials that the students will see, having an insight into. I really had an insight this time because I was seeing it as a student because I'd never done it before. I thought Barbara's tutorial was fantastic, and I loved every minute of it. and I had to do a voiceover too, which I kind of sort of enjoyed in the end. But yeah, I felt so happy with what I'd made. And it's something that I would never have made had I've not been doing this project from a tutor's perspective. And then I can hope that it can offer students, obviously, my perspective, and there might be things along the way that they'll pick up or might be useful to the students and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. I think it's so helpful to see like every perspective, because every jeweler has their own set of tools, their own bench space, their own techniques, their own way of doing things. And I loved as well, I think you had like a makeshift hot plate, because I don't think you had a hot plate for the game. So there was
No, I didn't.
That works as well. So we're all learning and kind of sharing with each other, which is amazing.
Yeah, I learned a huge amount in the first week of the Diploma Diaries.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what was it like putting yourself out there? Because obviously for all of you guys, I've asked you to do this.
Well, I'll be honest, Jess. It's totally out of my comfort zone. But I think each time I do it, it's getting easier. So today, I still feel a little bit nervous today, but today feels easier. And I think I will get used to it. So I wasn't so comfortable with the putting myself out there to say, it took about 20 takes for me to do it. But I felt, you feel my pain. But I felt pleased with myself when I did it. And I think unless I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, I might as well just go for it, really.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's so good to share that, because I think a lot of jewelers watching, especially with the diploma diaries and things, they may think, oh, well, that person's good at that. That person's good at Instagram, or they're good at videos, but we all start not knowing how to do any of it, don't we, at the beginning? And then I think it's a lot of trial and error, finding different angles, how to shoot yourself doing work, and also like putting your face in front of the camera, because I think a few of you guys initially were like, can we just show our hands? And it was like, well, you also want to see your face at some point. To put the personality to it. And it's similar when we're creating content for our jewelry business, isn't it? It can be really nerve-wracking. I know we've got the Jewellers Visibility Retreat coming up next week, and that's all about getting in front of things at Brighton, in front of the camera, showing yourself. And I think it's good to normalize even those people that are doing it. It doesn't necessarily come naturally to them. It's just something, like you said, it gets a little bit easier the more you do it, that kind of.
Yeah, and it's just not having the confidence, because I'm not that sort of person, and all my confidence is kind of in my hands, and I'm happy to be filmed making whatever. But just the speaking about myself and showing my face, I've kind of been a bit of a faceless jeweler, actually, for my journey on Instagram so far. So it's something very new, but I have to just think I am what I am, and people can just take you how they want to take you, and this can't change anything about myself. And I love my jewellery journey, and that's what people are here for, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you're awesome as well, so that helps too.
You always say that. Thank you very much.
It's just
we're all awesome.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Jane. So Emma, let's move on to hearing a bit about you. Do you want to introduce yourself for anyone who's not met you before?
Of course. So I'm Emma. I have a jewellery business called Narratorium. I've had it for about 10 years now, I think, coming up to about 10 years. I've been making jewellery for a long time. Started with a bead and gemstone obsession, as I think it does for most. So I started beading probably about 20 years ago, really. And then because I worked previously as an art director in advertising, I was a bit of a frustrated creative, and I just got to the point where I was like, I need a creative outlet. And actually, I think jewelry's the thing. I've got some ideas. I want to make them happen. So that's what inspired sort of setting up my jewelry business, Narratorium. So I did a few courses, and which was at the London Jewellery School initially, just a few sort of entry-level silversmithing courses. And I thought, this is what I want to do. So carried on doing that, just short courses here and there, set up my business. Just sort of been learning as I go along and experimenting, learning from my mistakes, trial and error, picking up like info from online tutorials and stuff, and being part of Jewellers Academy as well, because I work for Jewellers Academy. And doing various tasks, but originally sort of marketing, social media design. I guess I've been absorbing a lot of information through osmosis, just through being part of the community as a jeweler. But I just got to the point where I felt like I just want to take this to the next level. I want some more skills. I want to be able to maybe feel confident to take on repair jobs and commissions, and even just to help me design better. So that's when I thought, I think, some formal training and structured training would be right for me, which is why I was like, I'd really like to do the Fine Diploma. That's how I've ended up doing the Diploma Diaries, I guess.
Amazing, yes. And you've got family as well, don't you? You've got 2 little girls, so it's a lot to fit around, which I know was a bit of a consideration. And I think that is for many people signing up for a diploma, is like, will I fit it all in? But I love that you've just gone for it, because I think it's one of those things, like if you choose to, it just sort of find the space for it. And some weeks maybe you don't, but overall across the course of the year you kind of do. But maybe you could share, Emma, a little bit about how your diploma diaries are going so far, and what your experience was of creating the first video and just getting stuck into it all.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing. Like you say, the time factor is the problem for me, because I've got 2 little girls. I was like, I could always make this excuse of I'll never have the time to do it. But I thought, no, I'm going to have to find the time. I'm going to make the time, because there's no other way. And obviously, with the Fine Diploma, it's 1 day a week. I was like, I feel like I can do this, even if I have to do it on the weekends. But yeah, to start with, I think, I made the slight mistake of ordering my materials a little bit late. I wouldn't say they were late, but I thought it was on time, but they actually arrived a little bit late, and I was like, oh dear, this is going to start to put me back. But I've managed to catch up a little bit. So kind of on track now again. But initially I was like, yes, I can see, already how this time thing is gonna potentially be a problem for me. But because you've got the whole week to catch up and you don't have to do it on a particular day, I have, I'm on it now. I had some challenges with the first project, and I really thought it was going to just go really smoothly, to be honest. I felt like this is, it's a good project to ease me into all of this. I feel like I can do this one. There's no stone setting, because that's the thing that I'm not good at or don't have the skills with. But I did still have some challenges, but the team were great. They were, on hand in the group to answer questions. And even though I sort of hit a bit of a wall with it, it was really satisfying to come through the other side actually and go and understand and, make that breakthrough and realise why things weren't working. With the keen boom in particular. That was really satisfying. So I felt already like I'm winning, like after the first week. I shared that on my reel. So I know going forward, these projects are actually going to get more and more challenging, but I'm just already seeing how I'm going to grow, which is really exciting. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I love what you shared about, it wasn't all straightforward, because I think that's something that people can worry about as well. Either people who are on the course at the moment, it's, one of the challenges we talk about is we always want people to share what they're up to in the Facebook group, but sometimes it's only the people that are doing really, really well that share in the Facebook group. And I feel like the other people think, I'm not as good, or I've made a mistake, or mine's not gone to plan. But actually, there's always going to be projects that don't go to plan. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to do the training if you knew how to do everything already. So I think it's so good in these diploma diaries as well that you guys are sharing honestly about the things that worked and the things that didn't, because it's one thing watching a tutorial where everything goes to plan. And that's really helpful because that shows how it's done. But the reality is life gets involved, and sometimes things don't go to plan. So it's nice to see the troubleshooting and how different people do it. And I think you were sharing, the metals and getting hot enough, and then you needed the honeycomb bricks and to have more airflow, and just all these little tips kind of come out through the diploma diaries, which I know people find incredibly helpful, because if one person has a challenge, probably 8 other people are going to have the same challenge at least. So yeah, really exciting to see. And it's great that you reached out to the team and got the support you needed, because you're never alone. Even though we're online, we're always here. There's lots of us and we're always around, so it's great to hear that working. Brilliant. Okay, so now we know, everyone, we know a bit about your diploma diaries. Maybe you could share next what we can expect going forwards, what you're hoping to share in the diaries. Will you be sharing, the ups and downs? Will you mostly be sharing like from start to finish projects? Are you not sure yet? Anything is fine. It'd just be interesting to hear. So Tori, when does yours come out? On the weekend, I believe.
I do, yeah.
So when and what can people expect when they're on Instagram and they're like, it's Sunday, I need to check out Tori's diploma diaries? What can they expect?
I think I haven't really planned it, to be honest. So I think I'm just going to record everything and pick out the best bits.
Sounds
probably a bit of a mixture of like a little walkthrough of what I've been doing in the week, maybe some like where I've got my inspiration from for that week, some tools, all the good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And have you seen any of Kelly's diploma diaries from last year, and have they inspired you at all in terms of, she just did an amazing job. I mean, she was the first person to do them, but of how she
shared so much, didn't she? There was loads of tips and things, and different ways to approach things, and they were really good.
Yeah. And I think what makes them so interesting and so engaging is it is a person's experience, rather than a lesson, which, like I said, the lessons are really important and there's a place for them, but having on top of it somebody else's journey is really, it's connecting, I think. So brilliant. Okay, great. And yours, do they come out on Sundays or is it Saturdays? I can't remember.
The weekend.
The weekend. At some point on the weekend. So keep checking. And we will have a highlight on Instagram where we put all the diploma diaries. So if you want to go and catch up on the ones from before, then please do. And Jane, what about you? What can we expect from your diploma diary going forwards?
And as I do each project, I do very much a hands-on video. But again, it was the first time I'd done the Kembu, and it didn't go according to plan. So I think I'd let mine cool. My ring hadn't, by the time I'd done the front, the back, I did the Kembu foil on the back, and it had cooled down, and I thought it had worked the first time. I was so pleased with myself. And then I put it in the ultrasonic, and I just saw some stuff flaking up, and it was like, I felt a bit of devastation. But I thought, I'm just going to leave it, because that was my story of that experience, because I hadn't done it before. And it was a good one to start with, I think, and it was a challenge, definitely. The next one, for example, so there are quite a few things in there that I haven't tackled before. I'm really looking forward to the filigree one, because I've never done any filigree work. But for the immediate next few, the claw setting, I've taught that at Brighton in person. So I've got a few bits and pieces from there, and some filming of when I was actually making up all the individual parts. So that will be one. And then that's practice week, which was last week. So that's nearly there. And then this week is actually making something with the skills that have been practiced in making the wire collet setting. So I'm just going to, I think it's a really, really versatile thing to learn, creating the claw setting from scratch. And to me, I think it's opened up so many possibilities. So I'm just going to, for this week, do something that's a little bit different, but with all of the skills that are involved in making up that wire setting, maybe a different shaped stone or something like that.
Amazing. I can't wait to see your perspective, Jane. And Yeah, just it's really nice to have both Emma and Jane doing the fine, because it's like the student and the teacher and seeing the different perspectives on the same projects, which I just think is wonderful. So
Yeah, I really enjoyed Emma's. I really enjoyed your video actually, Emma, and I thought it looked fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, it's a tricky, it's quite a tricky process to do, I think.
yeah.
But really, really rewarding once you get there.
Yeah, well, it's interesting with the reticulation in K and Boo. Originally, a bit like Emma said, we put that at the beginning to ease people in, but we've realised that it doesn't always ease people in. It is quite challenging, but I think it is still a really nice initial project, because it's.
I think so, because it's something that not a lot of people have done, and there's two elements to it as well. So I think people will get a lot of joy from the reticulation, even though the Kenbu's a bit harder. There's lots of good things in there.
Yeah, and there's some nice gold and silver, nice mixed metal, which is always a good start. Brilliant. Okay, great. And Emma, what can we expect from your diploma diaries going forwards?
Yeah, a little bit like Tori, really. I haven't necessarily got a plan, although I think I kind of felt like I wanted to share my journey, I guess, my experience. I think I will reveal naturally some tips like Kelly did. But I was thinking about being honest, actually, with the challenges that I faced in that first week. I think it's quite nice to hear that it's not plain sailing, actually. So I thought perhaps that will be how I roll actually over the course of the year, is actually just revealing, the low points as well as the high points. Because I know, I think, even like say, I felt like I was going to be successful and it was just going to go smoothly with project one. So I know there's a lot more challenging things coming up. So I'm definitely, I'm sure there's going to be more challenges for me. But yeah, I want to try and I think actually realize when filming, it's quite tricky getting close to the work, especially with Kimbo and reticulation, because there was so much heat. So I struggled to kind of get like the good angles and close with the camera. But I think that's also something I'm hoping to kind of improve a little bit, so that you can see a little bit more what I'm doing as I go through the projects. But yeah, really excited. There's a few I'm really looking forward to. The collet setting is one, and locket making, and I think star setting as well, starstone setting. So yeah, I'm really excited for those, but I'm pretty sure there'll be some injuries. There'll be some challenges. But yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree. I think your first one was amazing. I mean, I think all of your first ones were amazing. You did such a good job. And it is a learning curve, not just with the making, but with the how to film yourself. And in this day and age, this is what we do as jewelers, isn't it? We need to be able to create content for our socials and to build kind of connections there. So you're really also showcasing how that can be done. And for anyone listening, I really hope that you're able to follow along with these diploma diaries. I think they're going to be really interesting. There's going to be tons to learn from. But also, if you're on a diploma, we would love to see your diploma diaries, because we've seen people popping up sharing their own, which we really encourage you to do. The more the merrier. We're always happy to see people's journey. And there is a hashtag JA Diploma Diaries. So if you are sharing, even if you're not sharing every week, if you're just doing 1 week, then that's absolutely fine as well. We would just love to see how you're getting on with the different projects. And I love what you shared, Emma, about sharing the challenges, because there will be challenges, especially with the fine diploma. There's going to be things that, melt, that go wrong, frustrations. And I think that's so valuable to see for other jewelers, because it's very validating in our own experience in terms of like, oh, I'm not alone in that frustration. But also for people buying jewelry to see that everything that goes into training and everything that goes into developing as a jeweler, it's not as easy as it may look from the outside. But also the highs and all the fun that we get to have, and the gemstones, and and the metal clay is so creative as well. So looking forward to seeing the things that Tori makes there too. So yeah, just lots to look forward to. So to wrap up, do you want to just go around and share your Instagram and where people can come and connect more with you? And anyone listening, do give them a follow if you aren't already, and maybe come say hi and congratulate them on their initial diploma diaries, because it's great to have a little community around us. So Tori, where can people find you online?
So on Instagram, it's Tori Foster Jewellery, all one word.
Brilliant. We'll make sure we put a link to that in the show notes. And Jane, what about you?
Yeah, on Instagram and Facebook, I'm at Jewelled Godalming, and also I have a website, jewelled.co.uk.
Amazing. We'll put those links in as well. And last but not least, Emma.
So you can find me at Narratorium, which is, I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I mostly use Instagram, mostly on there. And I have my website as well, which is narratorium.co.uk.
Amazing. Well, thank you all for being so brave and so dedicated to show up and share vulnerably in the Diploma Diaries about your experience and your journey. I am very excited to see them unfold. We also have, as I mentioned at the beginning, Kelly Twigg is doing like a revamped version of some of her projects from last year. So you'll be able to check those out, and do look out for anybody else joining. And if you see a diploma diary, give it a like, share a comment, give some encouragement, because it does take a lot of courage to put ourselves out there in these ways. And best of luck to everyone doing a diploma this year. And even if you're not and you're part of the community, hopefully you'll pick up some tips and still feel very involved. So thank you guys so much. Lovely to see you all. We'll see you back here for another episode of the podcast. Until then, bye for now.